Let's talk about harmony. Who doesn't want peace, ease, and harmony? Harmony is the combination of simultaneously sounded musical notes to produce chords and chord progressions having a pleasing effect. So we connect this to life. Music has notes that come together and blend. It can create beautiful symphonies, songs, and more. And the same is true in life. People can synergize and blend our differences and use that as a positive force to create beauty and harmony in the world. That is, if we choose, and if we want to become conscious and aware of how to do that. If people are living in harmony with each other, they are living together peacefully, rather than fighting or arguing or causing conflict or drama. We can enrich and complement and inspire one another in rhythm as we each play our unique notes, change our unique tunes, and individually grow. We can open our mind to accept ourselves and others, shed negative emotions and behaviors, and live in a more high vibe and aligned state. Harmony is beauty and love and a flow of authentic connection that's created within and around, and our uniqueness can shine together to create beauty. The unifying force of the universe is harmony. Life is always trying to teach us how to harmonize, and nature is working to guide us into a more balanced way of being and living. The universe wants us to create and sustain harmony within ourselves and with others. And it's a choice whether we want to spiritually grow and mend relationships, or whether we want to stay stuck in our conditioned mindset and patterns. And it is entirely possible to create harmony with everything and everyone. Yet, we must be willing to work through our own issues and recognize our unconscious blocks, shift patterns to create better ways of relating. And in truth, going deep within ourselves and with others, and being able to be emotionally open, honest, intimate, communicative, and more, is often a great challenge, depending on how you were raised and our individual past life karma. We're more of a closed-off society. And problems and conflicts happen when we're unable and unwilling to create peace within and around. The yoga and Ayurvedic sciences teach us that harmony creates non-harming individuals. It can help us quit fighting and allow us to master ourselves to create mental and emotional control. Ayurveda, yoga's sister science, shows us how to bring the body back into balance, and that the natural way for us all is harmony. And to be free of disease and dysfunction and remember our true nature is to heal our mental and emotional blocks that are keeping us in a state of disharmony or disease. So life gives us resistance, and within relationships, communication is key in order to keep connection alive. And often we thwart our own growth when we're unwilling and unable to create harmony. For harmony, it requires taking responsibility for our behaviors, words, and actions. That also means tuning into your emotions and developing yourself. And yoga teaches us that it's in and through the body we eliminate pain and can become aware and develop our senses to live more peaceful rather than problematic and reactive. Yet we must be willing to shift our lens and work through our issues to develop real ways of relating and overcome the unconscious patterns in things like running and blaming and denying our own wounds and growth. We can overcome karma and drama by realizing our pain and behaviors and making peace within and with others. And of course, the effort is required, but mending karma and working through problems is how we establish peace and can be amicable even with our differences. Our greatest growth is working through our issues with each other and developing real depth, intimacy, and connection. And we have to create it within first. And conflicts, especially with relationships and those closest to us, can create the contrast we need to show us where our blind spots are so we can dismantle our psychological blocks, mental and emotional, and most of all, fear. So what do I mean? Well, our mind is powerful. Any yogi will tell you that. Our conditioning in childhood and how we were raised creates a program within the mind that causes us to act and think in certain ways. Often, we believe we are separate from one another, take the reins of selfishness, and enjoy projecting onto people and live unconscious with the same routines, thinking, and more. We forget our infinite nature and that we're not separate from one another. So we all have childhood wounds and more that affect us. And often, the more wounded we are, the more we act out, hurt others, harm, and refuse to resolve our own issues. The mastery is to learn to function as a human loving being, less like an animal, and with more self-control and awareness. The yoga is to evolve beyond the limited mind and to connect with the body and spirit to ultimately realize the self and know thyself. This is why yogis practice breathwork, meditation, and peace. Because like anything, we need to learn how to be well and how to create health and well-being, and most of all, peace. Yoga teaches us union, and it's up to us all to unyoke ourselves and move through karma mindfully to shift and become more aware and self-loving individuals. Liberating ourselves of what we think we know requires a willingness to think different, change, and want to become a better human while recognizing the patterns and self-destructive ways that keep us out of alignment and harmony. So although our mind and ego love to control and think it knows what's right and gets trapped in our own stubborn ideas and delusions, it's entirely possible to get along with people and overcome conflicts and more. Communication is key. The problem is we haven't been taught how, and many people have all sorts of beliefs convincing them otherwise. And often, our own conditioning and childhood trauma teach us certain ways of relating, and the emotional health and tools that we need to be fully ourselves and authentically expressed get suppressed. And I believe that one of the biggest human challenges is learning to overcome fear to become authentic, self-honoring, and self-expressed, and to shed those negative emotions that keep us moody and acting out. To be able to communicate and connect in kind and loving ways and not allow our hidden emotions or biases to get in the way, it's not always easy. And there is a collective shadow of human greed, jealousy, pride, and more that cause us to act out and cause harm to another. Our underlying insecurities and shame can also keep us from living congruent, honest, and loving individuals. Yet, we can all strive for harmony every day, and we can live in harmony with one another. And by this, I mean peacefully, practicing peace and making peace with one another. It is said, he who lives in harmony with himself lives in harmony with the universe. And that means connecting to your authentic alignment and individuality to be able to be a happy human being. But the pain and fear within and what we hold cause internal conflict and drama. And learning to free ourselves and become open and honest and loving individuals can be a great lesson and challenge. Yet we can create harmony within ourselves and all relationships. And even when we meet people who trigger us or create disharmony in the body like anxiety, we can take the polarity as power and recognize what needs to heal within us and what this emotion or chaos is trying to teach us. And we can communicate about it. And although we love to be humans and blame and block and think the other person is the problem, it's actually through feeling our emotions and making peace in our mind, body, and heart that we allow healing and liberation and begin to create the harmony inside. And from that place, it's totally possible to unify with other humans, recognize the higher purpose in conflict, and most of all, make peace and amends. Although I know it's hard to get out of our own way and mindset, our ego loves to control and convince us otherwise in all these stories. And it's also easier to stay as we are and never change or think or believe different or take responsibility. And if we are conscious and walking in alignment and wanting peace and harmony, we're then able to create harmony with others and within relationships. Of course, we do our greatest growth through each other, and especially those relationships closest to us, like family and romance. And those deep triggers are also the hardest blocks to mend, and the mind can powerfully convince us of all sorts of other beliefs. And we can become aware of certain people as a gift to us to help us evolve and change so that hopefully we can become a more kind-hearted, loving individual. Whether we take the gift and choose to heal or expand our mind or neutralize our emotions is up to us. The highest harmony of all is aligning with our higher self and heart and creating and cultivating love, peace, and joy within and with one another. And the highest yoga is relationship and overcoming karma that keeps us in disharmony. And we get through life and experience and can overcome our own wounds and grow to think and act in better ways. But most of all, it's how we treat each other, and that's a reflection of ourselves. It's time for humanity to recognize the infinitely connected ways we are and to understand ourselves, and that hopefully we can be inspired to grow. And it's easy to live immature like a child and never make peace and act out and always cause destruction and ruin relationships and point fingers. And we do ruin relationships when we take our pain and put it onto others and become reactive and caught up in the negative emotions. So it's a choice whether we break the habit, heal the inner turmoil, feel it, dissolve it, and rather than letting the anger or the mind cause all these other things and blocks that ultimately don't allow us to create peace, ease, and joy. Keeps us in the turbulence. So healing happens through the pain and confronting it, and even communicating about it. And beyond seeking pleasure and running, we have to develop that intimate relationship with self. And we can work together to harmonize ourselves in humanity. In fact, it's what's greatly needed right now on the planet. We need to evolve out of past patterns and pain and realize the war within us and around us and begin to unify and create peace while healing our pain. Even in the Bible, it preaches in Romans, live in harmony with one another. So whether it's God or the universe or a higher power we trust in, the magic and harmony is created by believing in our own ability to become like gods and to begin to act godly and utilize the principles to live in kind and harmonious ways, which is ultimately love. And peace won't be possible unless we all start to harmonize and create harmony within ourselves and with each other and life. Self-harmony is the balance of mind, body, and heart, and to realize and recognize our true nature, that of joy and happiness. And it's created by developing the inner union and restoring our health and happiness within. Our true self is one with God and divinity, and it's to know the God part of you and within us to be able to connect to our true heart light so we can live our full potential while being alive on the planet. And as we choose to grow spiritually, the choice to evolve and raise our vibration is always there. We can create harmony within, around, and in our environment. And healing happens as we restore peace, develop emotional intelligence, and tame our monkey mind, and dismantle the barriers that are keeping us separate from one another in relationship. So I invite you to reflect on what harmony means to you. Consider how you can create more beauty, magic, and love. Think about relationships and who you've hurt and how you've acted out, and how your own minds and emotions have harmed one another and created chaos in your life. Then look at the pattern and what's driving your behavior and commit to shifting it within yourself. And if you'd like to take it to the deepest level, do the yoga. Forgive and make peace with those you've sabotaged, fought with, called names, and didn't show up completely aligned or kind. Because that's how we heal and grow together. And to harmonize, we have to remember what the yoga teaches: breath, mindfulness, and well-being. And simply by getting quiet, getting out of the mental stress, anxiety, emotions, all the busyness, taking a deep breath in and a full breath out can help us harmonize our whole system, energize, and keep us in that neutral, soft space. I'm Kaylee. Thank you for joining me today. Please subscribe to my channel. And if you'd like to learn more about how to harmonize and more about who you are and how to find the balance and harmony within, check out my star charts and hit me up. Thank you. Cheers and namaste.